I love a good stitch dictionary, and I have a pretty big shelf full of just stitch dictionaries. I especially love stranded colorwork stitch dictionaries because they're just so fun to look at and full of possibility. I haven't actually used one for reference since maybe the last 5 years, but they're still really fun to look at and get inspiration from. Recently, Andrea Rangel came out with the KnitOvation Stitch Dictionary. It's a sequel to her first Stitch Dictionary, and this was really helpful to me when I was designing a funky stranded colorwork sweater with a bunch of different scrap yarns. And here I am again designing a funky stranded colorwork sweater with a bunch of scrap yarns. But this was really helpful to me in my journey of learning how to design my own stitch patterns. When KnitOvation came out, I was like, I don't really need another stitch dictionary, but do I want another stitch dictionary? And the answer, of course, is yes, I bought it. So I thought I would go ahead and review this book today. At first glance, this book is brighter and more colorful and more cheerful than her first book. The first book just has, you know, this moody vibe. That's just, I mean, a function of the times, but I like it. It's pretty, it's cheerful. Both books are published by Interweave Press. AlterKnit Stitch Dictionary is published a little bit earlier in 2017, and the new book, KnitOvation, is still Interweave Press, but Interweave Press at this point has been acquired by Penguin Random House. And if you followed all the drama a few years ago, what happened was F&W basically was a holding company and it went bankrupt, and it was really a pretty chaotic time for fiber authors, knitting, crochet, weaving, spinning, all of them. A lot of people had book contracts that they didn't get paid on. It was really a big deal. So Penguin Random House is a much more stable imprint because they've been around, they've got that name recognition. So that's great to see that people are still publishing knitting books, and that's fantastic. So as I noted, the new book is much more colorful, and I love that. The previous book was printed in color, but a lot of the swatches were done in black and white or dark gray and white, and that's great for giving you a strong contrast so that you can see how the swatch is going to knit up. But color is just fun. There's just so much color in this book. It's really, really nice to see. Another thing that the KnitOvation book does differently is it gives you a really in-depth analysis of how your yarn choice is going to impact your colorwork pattern. It talks about the plies, the texture of the yarn, the fiber content of the yarn, and it actually has pictures of a bunch of different swatches of the same stranded colorwork pattern, just in different fibers, different yarns, different textures, and it really helps you really understand how your choice of yarn is going to impact your colorwork pattern. So that is really nice. I really liked that about this book. Having come off of a 3-month bender talking about different types of yarn and weaving, it's nice to see other people exploring different types of yarn and knitting. So that was really cool. There's not just different types of yarn, but different breeds of wool. There's Icelandic, Rambouillet, Blueface Leicester, Cormo, Singles, Alpaca, so all different kinds of fibers. And it also does some of the different dye techniques, so speckles, long repeats, heathered colors, tonal colors. Really gives you a great understanding of what might happen so that you're saving a little bit of time in your swatching process. So I think that's really nice. The first book, AlterKnit, had 200 stitch patterns, and the new book, KnitOvation, it says 150 plus. I didn't count. So it is like a little bit thinner. Like I can feel that it's a thinner book. It doesn't have as much content, but the content that it does have is really nice. These are not your traditional stranded colorwork patterns. They are fun, they're funky, they're modern, they are graphic. There are a lot of pictorial elements, so like pandas, crabs, rubber duckies, dinosaurs, things like that. Things that like get me excited to knit. So I really love that. Both books have a section at the back with patterns, and they both encourage you to experiment and try out different stitch patterns, swap things out to really customize things and make your own designs. I will say that the new book, KnitOvation, has a few sections within each pattern that take it a step further and make it even easier to learn how to design your own patterns. So it's a really great resource for that. If stranded colorwork is something that you're interested in, but you're wanting something a little bit fresher, a little bit more modern, I would highly recommend the KnitOvation Stitch Dictionary. I'll link to where you can purchase it in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.